Hey everybody, guess what? Here I am sitting backstage at Irving Plaza. It's November 23rd. No, actually it's not November 23rd. It's August 7th. It's not good to live in the past, or maybe the future. But anyway, so here I am with Gary Numan, and let's begin this interview and see what happens. So it's been about 5 years or so since I think you've toured the U.S. How has the reception so far been to your new album, Jagged? And to you as well, how have the audience been?
So far, it's been very, very good. In fact, last night was really the best night we've had so far. So I'm hoping it's one of those things that, as the tour progresses, it just keeps on building and building as word spreads. You know, we're checking the MySpace reports each night and various websites and so on, and we're just trying to keep a tab on whether people are into it or not.
So they're into it then?
It seems to be so far, but it's it's the music that I'm doing now is very, very different to what I was doing a long time ago. So there's always going to be a certain amount of people coming along to become nostalgic, and so that's to be overcome. So it's just something we have to keep pushing away at.
I know. I guess it could be kind of annoying to keep being bothered by your single from like 20 years ago when you have so much new material out.
Yeah. Well, I understand it. I mean, I'm not criticising anybody for it at all, but it is, part of being able to move on and let people know what you're doing now is to remind people that was a long time ago. The whole card was a long time ago.
And what is your favourite song on Jagged? Do you have a favourite song? Or?
Yeah, it actually varies a little bit because the album is still quite new to me even. So at the moment, I would say Haunted is probably my favourite.
That is a pretty good song. Why are you saying it's new to you? I mean, haven't you listened to it many times when you're editing it and everything? Shouldn't you?
Well, when you're making it, you're kind of so close to it. You don't hear it in the same way as you do 6 months later when you listen back to it as a finished thing. And because I've been touring it so much, your feelings about it as simply as an album, listening to it as on your iPod or something, is again it has a different feel to when you actually listen to it on stage. It's not doing the songs because you're concentrating on what's easy and what's not so easy, to actually perform it and trying to remember the lyrics and what the different cues are. So you're kind of working it rather than listening to it. It sounds a bit odd, but it is. I mean, when I'm monitoring, for example, I don't even have keyboards and drums in my ears. I've got other things. I'm not even hearing all the music. Just the thing that I need to make sure that I can sing the right bits at the right time. And so it's not often that I actually sit back and just listen to it as a piece of music. So
you haven't done that lately, haven't you?
Not so much. No. But,
well, you're singing the songs every night for like the past month, aren't you? On tour for the past month.
But it's not the same. See, there's a lot more to the record than just the vocal parts, and so it's. I know it sounds silly, but trust me.
I don't think it's silly at all.
I've not really listened back to it as a complete finished album since we actually mastered it in London. Sort of the week after we finished recording it. That was the last time I listened to it as an actual piece of music.
Okay.
So I'll still pick one. Haunted to be the one.
Okay, that's okay. But some listeners that might have heard your album, some of them might have drawn parallels to Nine Inch Nails. Do you think that it's because maybe Trent Reznor was influenced by you, or by? Why not? How would you characterize this new album then?
If people think it's Nine Inch Nailsy, then I would be more than happy with that because I love them.
Not that it is, just that they're drawing similarities. Not that I'm not saying,
I've got no problem with that whatsoever. I mean, I know Trent has said lots of things about me having an influence on what he was doing with Downward Spiral and even before that. Which is really cool. So and I'm a big Nine Inch Nails fan anyway, so I have no problem with it.
Okay. And is there any kind of emotion you were trying to convey with this new album, or is it just up to the listener?
Nothing, no particular emotion from the album as a whole. The whole thing looks back at some of the less savoury things that I've been into over the last 25, 30 years. It's kind of like a look at the darker, more sordid things that I've got.
Just things that go on in your head. I mean, things that go on in your head, your own personal life.
No, things that went on for real.
Also.
But then magnified a little bit to make them seem more interesting than perhaps they were. Just for the sake of writing a song about it, and drama, you might make it seem a little bit more darker or heavier than it actually was. But that's kind of what it's about. I wasn't sure what to write about when I first started doing it. I kind of done the God thing, the anti-God thing quite a bit with the recent album, so I wanted to move away from that a little bit. And I saw a documentary about something had happened in his life, and it just triggered this other side of him altogether, and he became a really vicious, unpleasant person. And it just got me thinking as to how some quite simple things, like a simple little moment, can trigger something in you which just changes your life forever. And to the outside world, it really doesn't seem like much at all. Anyways, and that got me thinking about my own life and things in the past.
You know,
No, it was a documentary on television. I just caught the end of it.
Okay.
And that started the whole thought process about these little moments and things and that started me thinking about various things that I'd done over the years, and some that I should have and some that I shouldn't have, and that became the building block for the album.
Inspired you. Do you ever watch documentaries about serial killers?
Yeah, all the time.
What serial killer have you seen lately?
Oh God, I don't know. Dennis Nielsen, I think, was the last one of ours.
What is it that's like interesting about the serial killer? I mean, it is interesting to know, what their reasons are, but what do you find interesting about the documentaries? Like, is it like the human mind? Does that interest you, the study of?
A bit of that. I have absolutely no understanding whatsoever as to the pleasure that people can get from hurting other people. Don't understand.
Maybe they don't know they're hurting.
Well, maybe 1,001 things. I don't know, but that's why I watch the programs, because I find it strangely terrifying, but fascinating at the same time that these people are there and around, and nearly always looks so normal, and it is.
Well, they always come across as very calm individuals a lot of times.
Yeah, well, mostly, not all of them, but most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it also seems like Nine Inch Nails and Marilyn Manson and Fear Factory, they've all done covers of your work, and do you feel like you've gotten some of their audience in that way? Have you broadened their, has some of their audience, do you find that they're rediscovering you?
Difficult to say, really. I mean, I've not noticed a massive upturn in record sales or tickets. I seem to be struggling as the way I was before.
You you're struggling despite that?
Yeah, very much. I mean, I think what they have done is it's given me a lot more respect in the media than I've had before, and people talk about me now as being sort of very influential and innovative and all these lovely things, which is very nice to hear. So I think it's given me a level of respect perhaps I didn't have before. Whether it's actually increased the amount of people that like what I do or not, I really don't know. I would hope so, and you would think that might happen, that some Nin fans might check me out, and some of those might actually like it. But maybe that's a long process.
Do you listen to Fear Factory?
Yeah.
Is there any particular song that you like from them, or you can't really remember?
I know Edge Crusher. I always like Edge Crusher. That's my favourite live song they do as well.
They remind me of hymns. I don't know why.
Who?
Like hymns in a church, except it's to the guitar.
What Fear Factory do?
Fear Factory songs remind me of hymns sung in a church. Just the chorus, Supper Fast, or
I never thought of it like that, but I guess so, actually.
Well, I mean, I know it's heavy and everything, but it just reminded me of church. Not church, but the hymns that you sing in church, because it's kind of melodic in that way.
Yeah, I guess it is. I never thought of it like that.
But that's why I was. That's just what I thought.
No, you could well be right, actually.
And do you recommend any bands that you think are good? What do you listen to? What do you think are some good bands out there that are not really very that people might not know about, but you think are good, that are in the underground, that you think are good?
The only thing I really like at the moment, and I don't know whether it's underground or not, but there's a band called Combi Christ, which I think are really cool.
Combi Christ?
Combi Christ, yeah.
Okay. Are they from England?
I think they're Norwegian, actually. Yeah.
What is it, like rock?
No, it's like it's kind of like early Nine Inch Nails, actually. It's
really?
hugely aggressive, and
it's kind of interesting.
Very powerful. It's really cool.
Okay. And I heard you also did a soundtrack to the movie Unborn. How do you go about doing a soundtrack for a movie? Do you see the movie and then you know what you're going to do? Or does the director tell you how he'd like it? Or?
Well, I've only done that once, so I can't speak for all movies, but that one he came out to us and we had clips of the film with code on, and then we talked about what he wanted, you know, when he wanted the music to start, when he wanted it to finish, and the vague vibe of it. And what I actually did it with a friend of mine, and we came up with 50 or 60 different bits of music to give him a guide. He would say, well, that's the right sort of thing, or that one's the right sort of thing, but it needs to be longer or darker or heavier. And then we just sort of fine tune it, really.
Oh, that was a nice soundtrack. Did you see the movie?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
It was okay. It was lovely to see a film that with your music on it. It's kind of an ambition.
What did you think of the story of the movie? Or you didn't really? No,
it turned out to be very interesting for me and my wife, because we actually did end up having a baby with IVF. So I didn't know that at the time, obviously. So no, I thought it was an interesting story at the time. And then we started having IVF, it kind of came back and remembered it a little bit.
You wouldn't want to be too scared.
Well, you never know. Yeah.
Oh, I just thought it was interesting. Is there any movie that you've seen that you would have liked to compose, that you think you could do a good job of composing? Is there any movie you've seen that...
Well, I thought Seven was brilliant.
Oh, that movie with the head.
Yeah, and that other film, was it called Dark City? Yeah, Graham Revell, I think, did the music to that. I think he's a genius. I love Graham Revell.
Are you getting offers to do music for movies? Or not lately?
No, not since that one, actually, which is a real shame. I would love to. I really would love to. But I think because I'm based in England, and
that was an American movie, I think.
What?
Unborn.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but that was one of those freaky things. If you're based in England and you're not really around here very much, and I'm not. It's the first time I've been here for 5 years. Your name is not the one at the top of people's list to be calling when they're doing music for films. So it's my own geographically challenged, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, you wouldn't really. I don't think there are that many good movies that you might want your name associated with anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, you know.
It is.
If they're going to go through such a rigid process of selecting people like that, I mean, it might not necessarily be a movie you might be inspired to do music for. I don't know.
It's rigid. It's just, people make a film and they look around at who else is doing music for films and what music they like, and so you've got Hans Zimmer and various people like that, and I guess they just go straight to the top of the list because first of all, they're very competent. They can do the job. They understand the business and know all the demands of it. They've probably got the equipment and everything all set up to do it, and they are a known item, really. So it's for someone like me to get involved in the film, I think they would have to be taking a small risk, because I really don't understand the way it works. Having said that, I still write music.
Well, have you ever considered acting or anything?
No, never.
Oh.
Rubbish.
You just that you just don't think you'd be good at it? Or
No, I'll be absolutely crap. Crap.
Have you ever seen? Oh, you just. No.
I know. It's just not.
No camera for you.
No, it's not. It's not for me. I would love to. I would love to be able to act. It must be a great thing. To be in films or whatever must be a really, really cool thing. But I absolutely know for a fact that I got asked to do a small cameo in a film a few years back where I just had to be me in the film, and I couldn't sleep for weeks, just terrified of it.
What's so hard about that?
Don't know. It just isn't my thing. Isn't my thing at all.
Have you ever seen the show The Young Ones?
Yeah.
Do you like them?
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorite shows. I think that's one of the best comedies I think I've seen.
Yeah? I didn't know you had that here. Yeah, no.
No, they don't have it here. I just came across it.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. That's very British comedy, though. Surprised you get it.
It used to show long ago, like a little bit, like on channel, like one of those smaller channels, and I used to watch it. I liked watching Alexei Sale, that big baldy guy. He was funny. Yeah. And, I don't know. And I bought all their DVDs too. I thought it was really good. So you laugh at that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So when did you last laugh on this tour? Like
about 2 minutes before I came through the door. I'm a very happy person. I am really. I'm very. I mean, Gemma, my wife, we just have the most brilliant time, and she makes me laugh all the time. And the band are a lot of my closest friends. We see each other all the time, and we're not touring. And I just we just have an excellent time. We are very happy, close-knit little unit. Just the music happens to be really dark.
Yeah, that's fine.
But as people, we're actually
Well,
a laugh. So the whole point of touring for me is to just go out and have as much fun as possible. It's not about...
Do you have like a favorite cartoon or anything?
Cartoon? I can't
Old
remember.
one. Back in the 50s or 60s, like really old. It doesn't even have to be a new modern cartoon. Well, what do you think about the Pink Panther?
Hey, it's alright. I used to prefer Tom and Jerry, actually.
Oh, you like Tom and Jerry?
Yeah, more than Pink Panther.
Oh, okay. Alright. Isn't it a little bit hard, though? I mean, don't you have 2 children? They're not, I mean, where are they? I mean...
They're back in England now. With my parents, yeah.
Oh.
Well, one's 3, just coming up to 3, and one's just coming up to 1. So, life on the tour bus at the moment wouldn't work out. But in a year or 2, 2 years...
Their parents, because both you and your wife are touring.
Yeah.
Don't they
Yeah, it's difficult.
You know?
It's only been a week so far, so it's not too bad, but it will be. I've got a laptop with a video link on it, so we talk to them.
Do that?
We talk to them every day, and it's... But yeah, it is horrible, but that's just our particular problem, you know.
Well, maybe one day they can come and tour. But is there any reason why your wife comes and tour with you? Can she stay with the kids, or you just prefer to have it?
But she kind of works with me as well, so
it helps. More helpful for her to be.
I needed to be there. Yeah, I couldn't do it if she wasn't there.
So that's good. I was just reading through like some of your older interviews, and you just were saying, you know, there was like a midpoint in your career where you felt you were under a lot of pressure to always write a hit and everything like that. But how did you suddenly have a lot of pressure like that? I mean, did you...
Well, when you first start writing songs, you don't have a record contract. There is no pressure whatsoever. When you've written songs that are number 1, the record company then start wanting you to write more, which are number 1, and they start talking about the numbers of units, and you know, it becomes a commodity rather than music. And then they start, when things start to slide a little bit, there is a huge amount of pressure to keep, because your life is at stake in some respect. Not your life that you're going to die, but I mean your career, and it's at stake. As soon as there are 1,001 people waiting around the corner of anyone's career who are every bit as good, probably, if not better. And as soon as you start to slide at a record company, you're out, because there are so many people just sitting there waiting to take your place. And so the pressure to keep trying to come up with hit singles and be successful is absolutely enormous, because if you don't, you're out. And when you're out...
That's like being on a major record, though, on a major record label.
Yeah.
I mean, now you're more independent, you're not...
Well, yeah, I have to be.
You're more, isn't it better that way?
Well, it depends on how you look at it, really. It's better in that I've got more control over what goes out, and I can't be dropped from my label because it's my label.
Well, yeah.
So I don't have to worry about keeping record company executives happy and all that sort of nonsense. But on the other hand, I don't have £1 million budget to throw at launching the Jagged album, which would obviously make quite a difference.
You mean in terms of promoting it?
Yeah, tour promoting it, tour support, advertising, you know, buying the best PR people on the planet, and all those things that a lot of other bands have when they're with major labels that help them to become very successful, and arguably to stay successful for a small while. You don't have that. So swings and roundabouts, as they say, really. You know, there are good things about being on a small label, but you certainly are going to struggle if you want to compete.
But you've been able to make a living out of it, though.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not the same thing as becoming a multi-millionaire, is it?
No, but I know it would be nice, but I mean, at least you are
here.
able to, you don't have to go and get a part-time job and come back home in the night and do your music, you know.
No.
So
no.
I mean, that you don't have to have that kind of stress of, you know, some sort of big hit or something. It's just your label. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but you're talking about the middle years, not now. In the middle years, I was with a big label when I was still getting hit singles, and there was a big pressure to keep on getting hit singles.
But now you should be more relaxed.
I am.
You know, okay, just wondering.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I wasn't in the middle years.
Yeah, I guess the middle years just wasn't a lot of fun.
No, it sucked.
You know.
Really badly, horribly. And I went bankrupt, and I nearly lost my house, and it was horrible, horrible.
Did you have any supportive friends or anything, or were you...
I have my family. Don't need friends. Got my family.
Friends usually come when you're a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, but when you're not a multi-millionaire anymore, they disappear again.
Yeah. So
They're all
kind of
gone
like
by
an
then.
up and down thing.
Yeah.
But have you encountered any like kind of